Hello, and welcome to the New Age Conservative Podcast. I am your host, Jackson, and I'm joined with my very good friend and co-host, Isaiah.
Hola, por favores.
Not Tony, because he's a cuck, and a very special guest, Jalen.
Hi.
So, we're here today, because we need to fucking record a podcast, because we haven't in 2 weeks, I think. About 2 weeks. We've been hella busy. Finals week is next week, so we've been busy. Had tests out the ass, and just haven't had the time to record. So, although we are down a man, we have picked up a woman, adding extra diversity to this team. So let's get started, I guess. On my what I have you guys heard of the QAnon conspiracy?
I haven't.
Alright, so basically this dude, guy named Q, posted on, like, I think it was, like, 4chan or Reddit or some shit, but it's, like, a conspiracy that, this guy said that there's a conspiracy, there's, like, a plot to, like, oust Donald Trump or some shit, it's like a deep state thing. I am not one for conspiracy theories. I don't really like conspiracy theories because not only can they not be proven, but it's like makes people seem super fucking crazy. And what I just heard about was this guy, actor named Isaac Cappy. He recently committed suicide, or so people think, I guess. And like people are thinking that Tom Hanks killed him, because like prior to his death, like Tom Hanks apparently posted a picture of the ground close to where he died, like some really far-fetched thing saying that Tom Hanks is responsible for this guy's death, which was apparent suicide. I mean, people saw him throw himself off the ledge and of like a bridge. And people are saying that Tom Hanks killed him because, like, some of his recent posts on Instagram were apparently cryptic. I'll see if I can find some of them. But as I do, what do you guys think of that? Are you guys one for conspiracy theories at all?
Actually, I believe in conspiracy theories, but hear me out. So, you know how apparently there's so many conspiracy theories about, like, movies and episodes of seasons and, just cartoons predict the future, and they fucking somehow do.
Right.
Like in The Simpsons,
Yeah,
they
Simpsons.
fucking predicted 9/11, and that fucking happened. So I believe I believe that there's something going on, but I wouldn't specifically call it a conspiracy theory because you can't exactly prove it.
Right.
It's just a hunch.
It's all speculation, and like it's not that it can't be proven. It's that everything that you use to try to prove it is so far fetched. It's just ridiculous. So basically, this guy,
Man,
he
I don't know.
jumped off the bridge.
I don't like.
Yeah.
Mm.
Well, I mean, like I like some, but like this just seems way too far fetched for me.
I mean, I'm into far-fetched stuff. I like ARGs, so I don't know, but I just don't. I don't vibe with that. That's kind of weird. Lots of time it makes people paranoid.
I just think it's confusing why they think that Tom killed him when he decided to take that chance.
Well, yeah, people are saying that Tom killed him because Isaac said that Tom Hanks was a pedophile, and that they're saying that Tom Hanks is part of the Illuminati, so he killed him so that he wouldn't talk. It's so far-fetched. It's actually ridiculous. I think it's ridiculous. And this is the apparently like from the conservative like section of politics, which makes me think like, what the fuck? Like, this must be like super duper far right, because I'm not far right whatsoever. So this must be too far right for me, because this just seems so far-fetched and makes people look like they're ridiculously ignorant. And just like they're just, I love Tom Hanks. Tom Hanks is my favorite actor. And if it does turn out that he's a pedophile, I'll be extremely sad. Will I stop watching his movies? Hell no, because he's an amazing actor. But, I mean, like, this is so far-fetched that I think he killed this dude just because he called him a pedophile or whatever.
Okay,
Yeah,
well, coming
I'll
from
be
a person
honest.
that doesn't know this, coming from a person who doesn't even know this person, I just believe that it's so fucking stupid that they wanted to bring Illuminati to it. What does that even have to?
It's
Like-
all connected somehow for some, like, the conspiracy theorist mind is all connected with everything.
Apparently,
Yeah, it's just ridiculous to me.
I'll be honest, it's way too far fetched, but I feel as if that's what really gets them into it. It's more so like this thing most likely isn't true, but it could be. So I guess that's where they get their kicks off of it. I guess I don't know.
I mean,
Yeah, because there's a lot of
anything could be
people-
true.
so there's a lot of people out there that are like, "Oh, I want more. I want more." Like, "Oh, I want to see what happens next. I want to see the
Right.
connections. I want to see what's going on. I want to know what's going to happen next, and how is it going to happen? How is things going to unravel?" People can do literally. The people can literally lie, saying like, "Oh, I fucked a horse.
God damn.
Congrats!" Like, you know, like people would do anything to somewhat get the attention and bring it out there to think that it's that it's real or it is something that could be in mind. Like this, like
It's-
there's one where like,
it's all
oh,
part
everything's
of-
a simulator.
Yeah. It's all part of the same idea that they're trying to take down big government, big Hollywood. I'm all for small government. Do I think that they should try and take down a huge actor from just allegations? Absolutely not. I mean, like, I would say this for any, even if it was Brie Larson, that terrible actor that she is. If someone came out and said she was a pedophile and said that she killed some dude because of it, I wouldn't be like, oh yeah, it's definitely true. I'd be like, wait, hold on a second, what's your reasoning for this? And I see no
I mean-
evidence towards like Tom Hanks doing any of this stuff. And it might be just because I'm biased, just because I love Tom Hanks. He's my favorite actor. But I mean, like, I don't see anything credible saying that he did this. This is all allegations, like the Kevin Spacey allegations. Everything that people say Kevin Spacey did to kids has never been proven. I like Kevin Spacey; he's a great actor, but nothing that he's done has been proven. It's all allegations, and that's what people get far-fetched. Is they take allegations, like you give them an inch and they take it a mile. You give them allegations and they treat it as the
Gospel.
scripture. They treat it as the scripture. They treat it as a Bible, and they take it all the way and they tell everyone and they treat it as if it's real. And it's just so confusing to me because they could operate off so little evidence that, like, it's on both sides of the political spectrum. Like with the Brett Kavanaugh thing, they had no evidence that he did any of the stuff that they said he did. And with the this as Isaac Cappy, Tom Hanks being in the Illuminati or whatever, there is so little evidence, almost no evidence that he is in any way connected with any of this stuff, and they're just taking it all the way, and it makes everyone look bad, because people will see this and say, "Oh, this is a far right thing. The far right means conservative. All conservatives think that Tom Hanks is Illuminati and that he's a pedophile. He killed this guy." It's not true. It's just those far right crazies who think that Donald Trump is God and think that gays should be burned at the stake and walk around in white hoods. I'm not one of those people by a long shot. So, I mean, it's so far-fetched in my opinion. That's just what I'm trying to get at.
Yeah. I mean, I can see how people like that. I mean, I'll be honest. I don't like Brie Larson at all, like one bit. But if something came out about somebody, I would at least try and see if it's true or not first. And I wouldn't just hitch on to these things. Because this is how people really get these people. You give them one tiny bite, they'll grab on a little bit. They say, "Hey, this is really nice." And after that, you got them on your fingers.
Exactly.
You got them at the tip of your fingers, and it's kind of weird to me.
Exactly, and that's why I always say I hate, like, drama. I absolutely hate drama. Not only because I don't understand it, but it ruins people. And this is just, like, elongated drama. A drama that takes it the extra step. And it just annoys me. Alright. Anything else to say on that? Any final words before I move on?
It's stupid.
Oh, yeah. Jalen,
I
anything?
mean, I don't know.
Nope. Nope.
Moving on to something that has been in the news a lot recently. Alabama recently passed a law that made doctors who performed abortions subject to getting a criminal charge on the same level as a rape in that state.
Can I rant just a little bit about this right now?
Go ahead. I'll let you go. I'll let you take charge.
Now, do you know how abortion works, right? Y'all know how abortion actually works.
Yes, at least a late
So
term
essentially,
abortion.
it's brutal, very brutal.
Yeah, it's very brutal and it's wrong. I'm not going to exactly okay, for me being a woman myself, if I were to have a child in me, it depends in a certain situation because they did ban abortion in Alabama specifically, even if it is rape, incest, or it is because you chose to do it or
Right.
you fucked up basically.
Yeah.
Now, I feel like the whole rape and the whole incest thing is a little too far because an 11 fucking year old got raped and she cannot get an abortion or she'll go to jail. She has to give birth to a baby that will.
The women that are receiving the abortion aren't going to jail. It's the doctors that are carrying out the abortion.
Yeah.
Still, look at it in this scenario. If there is a little girl that just got raped and she has to give birth to this baby just because there is a law saying that they can't,
Yeah, I don't like that aspect of it either. I personally don't believe that any abortion is morally okay, but I am definitely willing to cooperate and say that under certain circumstances, like rape, incest, or if the child is a is I guess attacking the mother in the sense that it could kill her, I would be for an abortion at that point. The reason that I don't really talk about that much is because those types of abortions only account for less than 3% of all abortions carried out in the United States. 97% is because they don't want the baby anymore. 3% is because it was incest, rape, or another reason. And that's what
actually,
I don't really.
So take a look at this. There are over 1 million kids in foster homes. If they give birth to these babies, knowing that, I'm talking for the rape victims at the moment. If they give birth to these babies will grow up knowing that they are neglected, knowing that they are not wanted, knowing that they were mistakes, knowing that they have to be in a foster care. Not only that, not something that the foster care cannot properly provide them for, because now it's basically saying, hey, let's raise our population even more. Now, I think it's it depends, because if you're a fucking 15, 16-year-old and you knew what you were doing and you just happened to fuck up, then that's on you. You fucked up, and not only that, that's your fault. I would literally I won't agree with that. If you messed up yourself and you want an abortion, I wouldn't agree with that. But if you are somebody that got raped and knowing that you cannot provide for a child, then I understand if you get that abortion. But it's still wrong because I know how it happens. And me being a girl, that would be so much pain knowing that I'm getting rid of something that is growing inside of me. And not only that, the Republicans is specific because there were 2 people that signed off of this. But the Republicans specifically said that you can control our money, you can control our land, our homes, and our bills and our taxes, but you cannot control what we do with our bodies. I somewhat go with that, but at the same time, I don't. Because now it's mostly people fucking up than people that are getting raped.
Yeah, and that's just the numbers thing. And are you sure? What was a Republican that said that?
Yep, positive.
Another thing about the abortion thing is people like to say that it's their body, their choice, when in fact it isn't their body. And they like to say that men can't have an opinion on abortion because it doesn't affect them, when in reality it affects the father just as much as it affects the mother.
Exactly.
And if men can't have a opinion on abortions, then non-gun owners cannot have an opinion on gun ownership. That's just like the same logic.
Yeah, it's like their logic is so messed up, and then there are people that are bringing religion into this. Not only that, they're bringing religion into this, and I specifically heard a lot of things about like, oh, it's a sin. God will not forgive you for killing a baby, killing something that is growing, killing something that has a life. And a lot of people are making the excuse saying like, oh, it doesn't have a soul yet. It's not ready yet. That does not
biologically, scientifically, because liberals always like to go off of science. Scientifically, 4 weeks in, the baby starts to grow organs, heart, lungs, brain. 4, 5, 6 weeks of a baby being turned into a fetus. That's when it starts to grow. Life starts at conception. That's just basic biology. Liberals apparently don't like. They don't like science when it comes to global warming, but when it comes to biology, they just like to decide that it's not a thing. But in biology, it talks about how there's only 2 genders, which is one thing liberals don't like, and the fact that life starts at conception for all animals. Humans are, in fact, animals. I doubt many liberals know that. But it's just the reason that it's come into the reason why it's such a big deal now is because it's just gotten nationwide attention, because this is it's a big deal. It's a big punishment. Like, it's never been a criminalized as much as, like, because a rape in like I said, it was on the same felony level as a rape in Alabama. In Alabama, a rape, if you are sentenced for rape, then you have a minimum of 10 years, maximum of 99. So take that in perspective. A doctor that carries out an abortion is subject to 10 to 99 years in prison for what they did.
Yeah, not only that, there's a state, I forgot what it's called, but there is a state that is giving out free abortions even to immigrants. Because after the Alabama law was passed and accepted, a new country decided to make abortion free. And they decided to say, guess what? You don't even have to be part of this country. You could be an immigrant for all we care. Our abortions are free, and we will give you them.
It's an evil practice. It's honestly an evil. It's the same logic as, sir, your wife's in a coma, but in 1 month she'll be just fine. No, I want to pull the plug. I just feel like it's what's better for her. Like, it's not better for you. It's not better for the baby. It's better for you. Like people say, "Oh, I don't want to have a baby knowing that I won't be able to take care of it and it'll grow up in a tough." Well, so you think killing it will make it better? That's not a better alternative. A better alternative is have the government defund Planned Parenthood, because Planned Parenthood is government funded. Defund Planned Parenthood and give money to the foster care systems. Improve them. Improve the adoption system. Because not anyone can just go in and adopt a child. That's not how it works.
Yeah.
But the foster care systems can definitely be improved.
And there's a reason behind why not just a random person can go in there and adopt a child. There's many reasons behind it, which is a new subject, but we will save that for later. But Isaiah, what do you feel about this?
Yeah, Isaiah, you've been kind of sitting back listening to what we have to say.
I hold abortion in an idea or a mindset where it should be the absolute last thing on my mind.
Definitely, it should be.
If there's a baby, I at the very least want them to experience life and not just to cut it off. And that's what I'm thinking. And most people say, if the baby has some sort of illness, then at that point you should kill it off. And I'm saying, all right, that's fine. But that's not the majority of what's happening.
Exactly.
And that's my main issue with it. You can't, and it's not even just that, it's not even the person's body. It's a completely different entity that's growing. It has a future. And by that point, I see it as, it's not that, it's a living being, and it's 2 separate entities. And so at that point, you have to make a decision, am I going to give birth to this baby and I'm going to let it experience life, even though it might not be the best life, at the very least it experienced life. Just because people say its life is going to be hard, everyone's life is hard. A cancer baby's life is hard. And even if I get cancer like farther down in my life or any other illness, it won't matter. Am I just going to go and keel off and die at that point? I mean, even so, they still have to experience life. And there are literal people who say if their life is in danger, then we want to make their years the best that they can possibly be. Because life is something beautiful, and you can't just say, all right, well, if they're already going to be, like, in trouble or something, let's go ahead and kill them off now. And at that point, I'm like, okay, one, do not do that, because, one, that is not a good thing to do. If it's, like, in the early stages, then at that point, it's up for tossing. At that point, I'm okay with it. But if it's already, like, late, midterm into the game, no, at that point you can't do it, because the way it actually happens to abort a baby is extremely brutal. Because you have to take off all the limbs, you have to take off the head, and then you have to vacuum up all the pieces while it's still in the womb. And at that point, it's like, all right, one, there was no reason for all of this. You could have just let the baby have, at the very least, some sort of life.
Yeah, and the argument for like when the cutoff is for how long you should wait for the baby to actually be aborted is it's always been debated upon, like what the cutoff is, like how far into the pregnancy it should be allowed, and like another similar argument is when does, like I said before, when does life actually start? Because I was talking to this one girl about abortion, and she was saying that, oh, isn't your sperm alive? So isn't using contraception basically the same as abortion? And I'm like, well, wait a second. Contraception is preventing preventing a pregnancy, and I'm totally for contraception. Contraception using a condom, using spermicide, everything, all the whole 9 yards. If you're gonna do it, use everything. Because contraception is a lot different than abortion. Because contraception itself is preventing a pregnancy, and abortion is terminating one. You're not killing a human baby, because if you consider sperm to be alive, then every time I masturbate, I'm committing mass murder. Like, it just doesn't...
Actually, there are a lot of petty people, very, very stubborn people. You know what Plan B is, right?
Yes.
There are people saying that, okay, well, if having an abortion is bad, then Plan B is bad. Actually, no, it's not. Plan B, you use it within 3 days after the man has ejaculated inside of the lady, right? Right. That's when you fuck up. Now, you have a chance to reveal your fuck up. You have 3 days. Understand, you have 3 days. It takes 9 to 10 days to finally start, around there, 9 to 10 days for finally the egg to finally, for the cell to finally be in the egg. Plan B kills the cell, not the baby that is growing, because it hasn't even reached the egg, first of all. It is killing the cell, preventing pregnancy. Nothing is even alive yet. And if you believe all those billion cells that are in there are alive, then you are totally wrong, because those are cells. It is not a baby. It's not a human. It is not something that is growing yet.
That's not a human life. It's the difference between valuing a human life and valuing a cell's life. Because cells cells are dying every day. Human cells die and are replenished every day. And at conception, it's not just a cell anymore. It's conjoined. At conception, that's when it's a baby. That's when it's considered a life, a human life at conception. Whether or not it's microscopic, whether or not it's just a cell, it's still life, or a bundle of cells even. So you just have to make that cutoff point. You have to think of, when does life start? How far into the pregnancy does it have to be for it to morally be okay to get an abortion? And just think of all these different times you have to cut it off. You have to make compromise.
I just feel like people should be really more careful in what they're doing now. Because we have 7th graders, we have 6th graders, 8th graders losing their virginity already, thinking that they are growing up, thinking that they are so mature when really they don't know a single little thing about anything.
There's at least 6 pregnant girls at our school that I just see on a daily basis.
Yeah.
And props to them for keeping, because they're pregnant to where you can tell. So props to them for wanting to keep the baby. But I mean, like, it's obviously showing you that kids are doing it a lot nowadays, obviously, and they're not taking the proper precautions. I'm not gonna say don't do it, because obviously, at our age, like this, the whole thing about this podcast is that we're teenagers, and it's our views from our perspective, because our voices aren't really heard because we're not old enough to vote yet. So at our age, going on to 18, kids are always going to be sexually active, and they're going to want to be sexually active because that's just how teenagers are. Definitely use everything. Like, there's so many methods of preventing a pregnancy that people are either too lazy to do or just don't want to do it for some reason. They think that it's a waste of time or whatever, and then they get pregnant, and then the father leaves, or the mother is sad and wants to, like, it's so easily preventable. A pregnancy is so easily preventable that whenever the idea of abortion is even, like, brought up for a pregnancy that could have been prevented, like a non-rape pregnancy, it just seems ridiculous to me.
I just feel like abortion shouldn't even be an option when it comes to you messing up.
Right.
That was your mistake. Now you learn from your consequences. Don't try to cheat in life and try to kill something that actually could be something very big in the future. For all you know, that could be the next president. For all you know, that could be an amazing surgeon or an amazing pilot or an amazing ass person that you have not known.
Right.
Like, I don't understand.
I mean, I could understand it though, because in their mindset, they're not thinking about the baby. They're more so thinking about how scared they are, not ready to be a parent.
Hold on, Isaiah, you're cutting out. Hold on. Your mic's really messing up right now. So just repeat everything you just said.
Fear is an interesting thing because it forces you to take lead first, and it pushes humanity, but it's also fast and make you make the right decisions the first time.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, I understand if you're a teenager, that you're gonna be scared, of course, and like you're not gonna know what to do. And I understand at that point why you would want to get an abortion, but you chose to perform the act, and you chose to let the, you made that decision. So you have to be conscious enough, and you have to be mature enough to actually say, hey, do I really want to do this and take the chance and just for pleasure, or no, I'm going to be smart and take the natural precautions, or I'm not even going to do it. Because I'm not going to say don't do it, even though that's what I would advocate for, and that's probably how I'm going to go about life. I just don't know. I mean, like, at this point in my life, it just doesn't seem as that big of a deal to me. But if you're going to do it at this age especially, then take the natural precautions. And it just doesn't seem like it's enough to... It doesn't seem like it's worth it to... This is because it's a life-changing event, a pregnancy is. Especially if you're a teenager. And I just don't think it's worth the risk to engage in sexual acts as a teenager without using proper precautions of protection.
Yeah, but whatchamacallit? I just feel like it's not worth, like, is sex really that fucking amazing? Like, I'm just gonna be honest right now.
I don't know.
It that
Isaiah,
great?
is
that
it
you
is it
want
great,
to, like,
Isaiah?
Whoa there.
Oh, isn't it great?
It's just like it doesn't seem worth it. Like, is it that fucking amazing that you think, you know what? I'm gonna risk everything. Because there are so many people like, oh, pull out game strong. No, it's not actually. No, it's not. 'Cause even pre-cum can get you pregnant. Like, there are so many ways you can prevent this, and yet you still you have so many red signs that are telling you like, hey, do this, but yet people still want to ignore them. And I understand what's going through their mind. I understand, like, because even me being a girl, like, if I were to put myself in the situation right now, literally my mind would literally say, what the actual fuck was I thinking?
Right.
That's the first thing that would go through a woman's mind, not even a woman, a girl's mind, if they are pregnant and a teenager. What the hell did I think I was doing? Like, what did I think I was, like, what was I thinking? After you realize you mess up, you obviously know that there's finally something growing inside of you. Don't let that go to waste then. If you messed up, just learn it. And I understand, like I said, I understand if you were raped or if you were forced and you got pregnant because of it. I get it, but if you were just a teenager who messed up, then that doesn't give you any right to take somebody's life away. Because their heart is still beating. They're fighting and growing for their own life. And you saying that it's your body, no, it's not. There's somebody inside of you growing, knowing, like, until their heart stops, until they choose to live. That's how I think it. Because me personally, there are so many that there's for example, a teenager wants to kill himself. Your heart is still beating because it still wants to live. Think of it as that way.
Right. It's the same thing with a coma. Like if someone's in a coma, they're still alive, but are they sentient? Can they make decisions? Would you kill a man that's in a coma? No, because they're still alive.
But anyway, that's my final thought on that.
All right. I just feel like that was like the biggest thing that was on my mind for this entire podcast was abortion in and of itself.
Well, I have another one.
Oh, you have another one?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
This one is this one also is gonna be. This is about a whole foster care thing. There is a pastor. He is Christian. He adopted a daughter. So it's not biologically his. He raped and abused this child, this poor little girl. And when that happens, you get 60 or to 76 years in jail if you were to do that. He only got 20 because of his love for Jesus Christ. May Lord be with him. That's the only reason why he got a soft sentence, because he is a pastor and his dedication to his church and his dedication to God. That's why the judge believed that he should get a soft sentence for that.
What's the state that this is in?
My statement is, would you?
No, I said what state? What state is this?
I think it was. Hold up. I actually, whatchamacallit? Crap. Hold up.
Anyway, about that, I think it's the state matters because not every state's gonna have the same laws. But I think that's definitely not okay whatsoever. This man is obviously not a man of God if he's raping his child, and he should be.
Okay. So his name is David Richards. He repeatedly attacked his adopted daughter Amber Richards in Tennessee.
Right.
And it wasn't just one time. He was repeatedly raping his adopted daughter, and has done it for decades and now he is only doing decades behind bars because the church apparently needs him. And apparently he was sentenced to 12 years in prison. My bad, I correct myself, that was on my part. He's actually 12 years in prison instead of 60 or 72.
Oh,
And the judge
wait,
says,
what?
yes, that's exactly what I'm fucking saying.
So if it's a Class A Class A felony, aggravated rape of a child, 15 to 60 years of in prison. Class B felony is a rape, aggravated sexual battery, 8 to 30 years. Class C felony, 3 to 15 years. A statutory rape or sexual battery by an authority figure. So that's why he was given that, because he's an authority figure, the father. Statutory rape authority figure. Defendant are eligible for probation or judicial diversion. So he's just gonna get the straight up 12. So his max sentence was 15 years. So he got 12 years.
That's still so messed up.
I know, it's still not. Okay.
He was repeatedly raping and attacking his adopted 14-year-old daughter. Not only that, her statement was that she wanted to throw away her own body.
Oh.
That is so
regardless of how the Tennessee laws are, it's definitely not okay whatsoever. And I think he should have gotten the maximum sentence that he could have gotten. At all. Not just in that regard.
Yeah.
In the sexual assault bracket at all.
I'm still surprised, but if I don't want to go to jail, I'll just become a pastor, I guess. I mean, I don't.
I literally was gonna make a joke about that. Like, damn. Oh, so I can rape anybody I want. I just have to be a pastor.
It really gives a bad name to the Christian church, because I am a Christian, so it really makes people look bad. And it's the same thing with the Catholic Church. The priests raping the boys in the Catholic Church. It makes them look bad, when I'm sure that the Catholics are great people. But I mean, it's just
so horrible. I feel so bad for the daughter, knowing that she had to deal with that, knowing that a man, a pastor of somebody of God, adopted a child, and she thought, maybe through her head, she's like, I'm getting adopted. I get to finally have the life that I want, finally knowing that I could be somewhere, have a home, have food on the table, knowing that everything might be okay. But right when she turned fucking 14, he fucking beated her and raped her. She was just an object to him, a play toy.
I'm gonna be honest. Hold on. But at the very least, I do see him. He's not getting another child, and he's not gonna get any more rights to that.
Well, he's already been sentenced. He's already been sentenced to jail. I'm assuming he's probably already in a prison at this point.
Yeah, he's behind bars at the moment. He was found guilty for.
I mean, more likely than not, since he is in jail, he's probably gonna get a lot of slack. Or like, no, not a lot of slack. He's probably gonna get bullied.
I hope they beat him to the I hope he drops the damn
From what I hear in prison, even though people are probably terrible in prison, they don't take too kindly to kitty rapers.
Like that's so horrible.
They really don't.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, it's I don't know. I mean, the justice system is pretty bad, but I'm pretty sure jail he'll do the right job first time.
Yeah. If only he was in Texas, he would have been hunted down and shot and killed.
Yeah, he would not have survived.
No, but the daughter kept on repeatedly saying that, whatchamacallit, she said, the victim said that her last statement to her father was that, or her father, quote unquote, was that I wanted to throw away my body, and I wanted to, because apparently she was also a Christian, and she says that I hope he goes to hell, knowing that his mistakes, knowing that God will never forgive him, and now I see myself as a used object. I want to throw my body away. That's what she said, and I don't know what goes through y'all's mind, but through my mind, if a father were to rape me, or like I'm putting myself in her shoes, if someone were to fucking beat me and rape me, I wouldn't want to live. Like
I
that's me
mean,
being weird and depressed. I'm sorry, but like, would you want to deal with that and knowing that her name is out there too?
Yeah, I don't. I personally can't say anything because I have not been in that situation, so I couldn't begin to even like feel what they are feeling or think what they're thinking. But I don't think I'd go as far as to say I would commit suicide, but it definitely must have impacted them enough to think that way, and I feel
I mean, I haven't
extreme
been through it either, but
sympathy.
like, I just feel like I feel so bad for her, knowing
Yeah,
that she has to deal with that, knowing that even her name was on it, knowing that it was publicly out there now
yeah,
because of his title.
I mean, yeah. I mean, honestly, me personally, it would be different. I don't show this, but I'm an extremely emotional person, and I like lots of times if I feel a certain way, I'll cluster up my feelings and let them pop all at once. And it's a big issue I had. So instead, I probably just break down like in an instant, probably.
yeah. It's just a terrible thing that I think should have been noticed earlier.
Not only that, just because of his title and what he apparently does, he got a low sentence just because of it.
Hmm.
Yeah, and it sucks. It sucks really, but it's mainly that humans are really driven by religion and beliefs. So if they see these people like figureheads, or even, it doesn't even matter about religion. If someone has a multitude of power and the vision of the people, they're seen as above somebody else, or they're like put on top of a pedestal. More likely than not, they're not going to be judged like a regular person would be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all a status thing, and for as long as the world has been around, social status has always affected people and how they are, how they are treated. And it's just sad to see that a religious figure is treated this way just because of his status.
Well,
Exactly.
those are my final thoughts.
Yeah, I mean, there's not much else we could really say about that. Uh, let's go on to my next thing. This is another thing that's been in the news pretty recently. Have you guys heard about the tariff war with China?
No.
China's weird. So no.
So basically, China and Trump have been in a tariff war. So President Trump put levies and tariffs on Chinese products, and so China did the same. They started putting tariffs on American products, and Trump got mad because the only reason he was doing the tariffs was so that he could level out the playing field because China had been unfairly trading with the United States, unfair trade practices. And there's a trade deficit between America and China, so they've just been going back and forth and increasing tariffs on more goods and just increasing all this stuff. So what do you guys think about this?
It's stupid.
I mean, I'm just saying, and I hate to bring this up, but we talked about something similar because there was this Chinese lady, and she was on Trump's grounds with the mysterious flash drive, which was revealed to have malware on it. And what do you know? She was Chinese. I'm just saying, China's been pretty shady. Like, not North Korea shady, but they've been pretty shady.
Yeah.
China is economically slowly leaving communism, but at the same time they are being really sketchy with how they do certain things.
Exactly. I mean, don't get me wrong. I don't hate China. I think it could be a cool place, but I definitely do think that it's not exactly the best place ever. I'd much rather go to South Korea.
Yeah, I mean, it's
Me
just each to their own, I guess.
me personally, I just believe that China and us at the moment, how things are now, and what you're telling me, it's not gonna leave in a good note until somebody mans the hell up and grows up and be like, okay, let's fix this. Like, let's fix this. Now, if
Well,
Donald Trump believes that that China is unfairly trading with us, and now they're doing this, what the hell?
well, that's the thing.
Yeah.
Trump has been, because China and America have always had tensions, and Trump's been the only person to do it. But like, he's been having
Yeah.
talks with the premier of China, and he's been trying to get things done. But I guess he's just trying to persist, and they're not getting it done, or they're continuing to put tariffs. But it just seems like every time Trump goes to China to talk to the premier, all is well, and then it turns out that all is not well.
Oh, then China's being a bitch.
Yeah, since
Well,
1985.
well, yes and no, because whenever you look at the history, I mean, I don't know, but last time through the history, China's been very much a country that's tried to help their people,
Yeah.
and it was like, because back then, it was China and opium was a big issue,
Right.
and even when they tried to stop on opium exports and making opium, they got punished for it. So I can understand why they're mad at this, and it's not even just that; it's a deep-seated hatred probably because they try to help their people and they get punished by another country that has nothing to do with them in the first place. So I don't picture them wanting to like America all that much.
Yeah, true. I actually agree with Isaiah at this because no, I feel like they could care. Okay. I'm just saying this out of what I know so far. I feel like they care more about their people more than what they're doing with us. No offense, but we have always had tension with China. They're like even back then.
Right. Especially
Like,
back then, when they were communists,
like,
when they were
especially,
actual
like-
communists, and we are at the verge of war with them at every corner we took.
Yeah, and not only that, I feel like even if Donald Trump was trying to do something and they're not agreeing with it, it's because they're it's like saying like, oh, we're done with the bullshit. Like, okay,
Right.
we'll agree, but like we're not gonna like.
Historically, China has always tried to be self-sufficient. In the early state, I think it was like the 13th century or something like that, China became an isolationist country because they believed that they had everything that they needed. So they've always been
Yeah.
self-dependent for as long as possible. But once they became communists, they were really, really close allies with Russia and North Korea, and then they pushed the old Chinese government to Taiwan, which is why the U.S. is such a big backer of Taiwan, because U.S., up until recently, I guess, considered Taiwan as the true Chinese government, not China. But that being said, China still is a shithole country in the sense that they don't want to open up more, I guess. They are top trade of manufactured goods in the entire world. They have the most factories. And it's whenever there's trade deficits, because I'm pretty sure America is one of their biggest, like, we get most of their exports, and we just, it's huge trade between China and the United States, and whenever there's the deficits, whenever there's more trade coming from one place and it's not equaled out, then someone's losing money, and it seems that the United States has been losing money when it comes to these trades, and it's not benefiting us whatsoever. And that's the whole reason these tariffs are being put in, is because of the unfair trade between America and China. So he's increasing money on he's increasing tariffs on trade from China so that we can make up that deficit, and with that, China's raising their tariffs on our goods so that there's even more of a deficit.
I mean, it's already to the point where like a lot of the products we have are made from China. And it's not even just China, it's also multiple other countries outside of the U.S.
Very large amount of products made in China. Because it's all about outsourcing. So many companies these days outsource all their labor to, like, Asian countries where they can lower the wages. And it's so much cheaper to build factories in Asia than it is to build in America.
Yeah. I mean, personally, I think it's kind of a scummy thing. It just
Oh, yeah,
doesn't
of
seem like
course.
that good to do. Because it's not even just that. If you're paying less money and you're getting cheaper work, it's still probably going to be less quality. It's not going to be a higher quality. It's more so quantity over
Quantity.
quality, and
It's
that's one thing
quantity
I
over
just
quality. That's the
don't see
thing.
as good.
Is that they're shipping out these
Exactly.
massive
And
amounts
it's
of whatever, and they're getting tons of money for it just because of how much they're selling.
China's weird.
Yeah, I think we can all agree on that. If anything, that's what we can take away.
Cause like,
I mean, I don't know.
You don't know?
I don't know if you can necessarily mean. I I don't know about China, and I don't know what they're dealing with right now. But to do this seems a little bit weird. I mean, I can understand them being hurt by this, but it doesn't exactly make any sense to also do the same thing back right
Right. Because then they're
now.
just
Both of them just
then
look petty, and I
yeah,
don't understand.
yeah. Because then it just turns into a petty argument, and then they're just making the situation worse.
yeah, cause you're like, oh, you're gonna do this. Okay, we're gonna do this back. Like, you know,
Right.
they're like two fake friends arguing. It's literally what they're doing.
We've been recording for 52 minutes and 22 seconds, so I mean, we can start to give out closing statements now, or if you guys want to bring up another topic we can talk about quick, then we can go ahead and do that.
I'm gonna go ahead and choose the closing statement because I have no other topics to talk about.
Oh, okay.
How about you, Isaiah?
Oh, yeah, so I don't know if anyone's know about this, but y'all want to talk about Pro Jared?
What the fuck is that?
You're sure we can talk about Pro
Do
Jared?
you? Okay. Do you know who Pro Jared is, Jacqueline?
Jacqueline?
I'm not Jacqueline.
Were you gonna say
I'm gonna call
Jackson
Jacqueline
and
'cause
then
that's
go
what it
into
says.
Jalen
Nope.
like at the same time?
Nope. 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 It says Jacqueline, so that's what I'm
Oh
saying.
my god.
Jacqueline.
Okay. It's because of my username.
Do you know who Pro Jared is?
No, I do not know what Pro Jared is.
Jackson, do you know who Pro Jared
I
is?
do know who Pro Jared is.
Perfect. Okay, so Jalen, essentially what happened is there's this dude, and then he's involved with this bigger group of people. One of them you probably know is JonTron. The other ones you definitely do not know. And so essentially there's three parties. There's one Pro Jared, his wife, and then there's also now it's allegedly said that Pro Jared was cheating on his wife, and then cheating on his wife with this one girl, and all like a majority of his subscribers, he was just sending out nudes to willy-nilly. If you were a fan of his and he had your information, you would have gotten a nude. That's essentially what was happening. And so essentially what's happening is his career is getting dragged through the mud and getting ripped to shit.
He deserves it.
I mean, yes. But then the thing is that he also fired back, and then he said that his wife said, actually, he also said his wife told him to do with, because they're in like this relationship where they're both okay with having different lovers at the same time.
That's fucking
Oh
weird.
no,
So,
they're the
cannot-
two lovers.
I
They're
cannot
two
do
lovers
that.
relationship. So they're like,
Yeah,
okay,
they're
you
both
and me in a
cut.
relationship, and you can fuck with anybody else. It's okay.
I couldn't do that.
Yeah, yeah.
That's the relationship they're
Yeah,
in.
essentially. And the thing about it is, that she said he could do that. After he started doing it, and that she did it after that.
What is up with girls thinking that they are the victims? What the fuck? If you put the statement saying that you
No.
were okay with it, then why are you acting like you're the victim saying,
Because
oh,
it's
he
so
cheated on
easy.
me?
It's because the victim. Oh, I'm a helpless woman. It's such an easy thing to do. It's such an easy thing to just masquerade as is the victim.
Well, here's the thing about it. Here's the plot twist. They're both playing the victim. Both of them are playing the victim.
How the
Are
fuck?
you
Because here's the
serious?
thing. Yes, because first off, his wife's name is Heidi, and she essentially played the victim in One Piece. Now, see, here's the thing about this. I didn't see this, and this is a good reason. In the very beginning, poor Jared kind of cucked himself because he went out on Twitter and said, "Hey, I'm divorcing my wife. She's okay with this. This is consensual. Both parties have had something in this. Heidi didn't see it." And the thing is that one, Pro Jared blocked Heidi so that she wouldn't understand this, and she got bombarded with black. And I'm saying,
Wow.
then after that, she actually came out with what she believed happened. This is her story. Then after that, over a week later, Pro Jared then gave his idea. Now, I don't know about you, but the fact that once his identity has been tracked through the mud already, and he's just now doing this, not only does it seem weird, it doesn't seem logical to do it now rather than before. I still think Pro Jared's the one who did it. I'm not sure.
Can you shoot that
All
kid,
he
please?
looks weird. Yeah, hold on.
Just hear a in the background.
Oh God.
Nah, but that shit's crazy. Like, I don't understand the appeal of cheating on your wife or having an open relationship like that.
It's because wanna know why?
Mm.
There are actually people out there who want more, who want the chase.
Wow.
People like for example, if I was dating a guy and I was chasing him and I finally got him and he was chasing me, then we would be in that relationship. We would be in the relationship where we love the chase, where okay, you could be with somebody else because we always want more. There are people that aren't satisfied with one person, and that's what sucks.
Mhm.
Because sometimes they will get someone that want to be satisfied with one person,
Right.
and then later on they're like, wow, like, damn, like, what did I like? You know, like, damn, like.
What happened? I don't know what you're talking about. I'm baffled of what you're talking
There are
about.
people that aren't satisfied with having just one person. That's what sucks in those types of relationships.
I mean, yeah, you still have to remember, both sides are alleged. There's no, like, physical proof that's really out, except for, and that's the only reason why I'm saying, Pro Jared probably did all of this. I'm just more inclined to believe Heidi. He blocked her and he sent multiple nudes. At this point, he's essentially dead. Not to mention, if you've seen his smile, he's got that type of face.
He kind of cucked himself with that. Yeah. He just seems like he's just a huge meme at this point.
He sipped the Kool-Aid and he couldn't get enough. He kept on chasing. I'm just saying.
Well, I mean, I guess that kind of wraps up because we only got we've been recording for 58 minutes. So, closing statements. Let's go around the table. Let's see what you guys have to say.
You want to go first?
Yeah, go ahead. You can go first.
Okay, so what we've learned today is that one, if you don't want to go to jail, become a pope. That's pretty simple. Or even just become someone everyone looks up to in general. I mean, have you seen Bill Cosby? He's probably living up the life in jail. It's that simple. Come on. And second, do not trust. He is a bad person. Do not. He is scummy as China, and he's probably also a shady. This has been your host of the Milky Squad. Have a good night.
What?
My final statements are. Abortion is wrong if you are the one that if you are the person that messed up. But I guess I'm not surely okay. Like, I guess it's okay if you were raped or if You have no control over getting pregnant. But if you knew you messed up, then it shouldn't be an option. You should deal with your consequences. You're the one that messed up. Second, fuck, man, what the hell is up with fucking, like, what the hell is up with the whole year statement thing? Like, you raped your 14-year-old daughter.
Yeah.
What the fuck, you know?
Mhm.
But a title shouldn't be driven to where it gives you how many years. It shouldn't be like that. I just me personally, it just shouldn't be like that.
Yeah.
Because rape is rape, okay?
You're right.
But yeah.
Closing statements for me. I guess what we can learn from today is abortion's wrong. Don't rape kids. Don't rape kids. Don't
Use
cheat on your wife.
protection.
Yeah, use protection or abstain. And don't cheat on your wife. This has been the New Age Conservative Podcast. I thank you for listening in today. If you enjoy, please hit the subscribe button and hit the notification so you know whenever a new podcast comes out. We appreciate you tuning in for this
weeks
episode.
later.
2 weeks later episode. And we hope you join us on our next episode. Goodbye.